In my opinion, there's a lot of talk these days about how the media is covering subjects. I think everybody should do their due diligence that's interested in this kind of stuff. Should watch each of the different media outlets and see what's being covered. Donald Trump said everything that CNN was doing was fake news. That's not necessarily true. They're doing some real news. And then everybody also says that, Fox is saying stuff that's, not true or made up. I suppose if you watch the commentary shows in the evening, them are shows that don't really cover news. They give more of a commentary of their perspective of stuff, which is fine. Everybody has their own take on stuff. But when it comes to real news, there are some programs on CNN that would be covering one subject while the other channel's covering another subject. What I do notice with the mainstream media, not Fox, but the mainstream media, is they don't seem to cover things that don't reflect a good light on the Democratic Party. For instance, this whole immigration thing, it's really not being covered very well at all by the mainstream media. Yet when the other administration was in office, the Trump administration, that was a daily focus on several of them channels of how he was locking people up in cages and doing this and doing that. Now, they're not even touching it. And if you're paying attention at all, you need to go in and listen to the governor of Texas that had several AGs from all over the country give a news conference. The only ones that showed up for that news conference were Fox and aired the thing completely. Very shocking news of how many people are being transported into our country that should be sent back until they come in the right way. So when it comes to news, I don't see Fox putting a heck of a lot of stock and stuff going on in the Ukraine, where all the other channels are really focused on that. Another thing that I noticed is Fox and this whole Supreme Court justice appointee, they have their opinion and they're reporting that this seat's going to be available. And what Joe Biden said during the campaign was he would be putting the first black person or black female on the Supreme Court, which is fine. I think we need diversity in our courts. We've never seen a Native American on the Supreme Court. Shocker. But if you was watching any other channel, they literally had panels of people on about how significant this is for the country to have a black female on the court. I agree. It is a significant thing. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers back just a couple of years ago, the scrutiny that they put Kavanaugh through, the lies that were told about him through the Democratic people, the witnesses that nothing could be corroborated through the, in fact. Yet they really ran him over the coals. The same thing they did with Justice Thomas years ago. He's a black man. Yet the opposite party at the time, the Democrats, ran the man through the coals. So if you really need to look at content of what certain channels are covering, in my opinion, we should be paying attention to this stuff and get every bit of information we can, sift through it, and make our own decisions, even though we don't make much of a difference. It's worth looking into. That is my opinion.